but if you say that okay the cost นะครับ of the cement powder that you fill up right now it's about let's say 50 baht per kilos that might be some error or 10 baht per kilos that is far from like the cost that we use for each roof tile then you have to check because there must be something wrong นะครับ in this one this is a permanent solution and since then there's no problem because I mean like before users load their data into the new system they check the warning first if there's some warning they have to see what happened นะครับ because otherwise if they load the wrong data once again next time we will not stop the system anymore but the way that we have to do is that you have to fix every problem systematically for example if you say that okay the price is wrong for 100 baht per kilo oh sorry 100 baht per tons you have to credit back 100 baht in terms of accounting so that the price will be changed นะครับ systematically we cannot go to the database and change the price from 900 800 to 900 นะครับ manually we can't do like that we have to do everything systematically when it becomes an information system we can't do anything directly to our database นะครับ okay after that for adaptive maintenance we try to have some enhancements add some enhancements to the system นะครับ and make the system easier to use นะครับ for example in the past you could see that okay some of the systems when users had to just like bill the customer for example if we are talking about some supermarket in the past when the cashier had to just like charge the customer they had to press the button นะครับ for the product ID นะครับ number of items and press enter but adaptive maintenance we add some enhancement for example we say that okay we will have the barcode scanner so that users do not need to do the things like enter the data manually and wrongly again we just scan the product code นะครับ the price is in the system already นะครับ it will be retrieved whenever the barcode match with the product in the database นะครับ this is enhancement some of the system they say that okay instead of using manual scanning like that you just have or you just affix the RFID sticker นะครับ on the product so you have the conveying belt you put the product on the belt and when it moves to the sensor it charges the customer immediately so we don't need to have the cashier in that place anymore when the customer just put everything in the conveying belt they can put all the products in their bag straight away นะครับ or they may not need to do so they may put all the products in the bag that we provide and then inside the bag the RFID tag can be just like scanned automatically and they can just like walk away from the supermarket and the money will be charged over their credit card straight away something like that นะครับ but anyway it can be more difficult than new system development because you are running the system นะครับ and then you are doing the enhancement at the same time sometimes users don't know how to just like change from the old way to the new way in order to charge the customer something like that it is more difficult นะครับ because I mean like when all the users were trained they train in different ways before we have the enhancement after that for the protective maintenance this one involves changing in operational system to make it more efficient reliable and maintainable ครับ this one normally it's cost effective during middle of system operational life นะครับ programs that need large number of maintenance changes usually are good candidates for re-engineering and last time I talked about like an example of the re-engineering like the queuing system of the bank something like that and the more program changes the more likely it is to become inefficient and difficult to maintain นะครับ so that's why when you have to do the maintenance you have to prepare the plan ahead นะครับ after that we have the preventive maintenance for the preventive maintenance we do this maintenance task in order to prevent the problem to arise this one นะครับ This kind of maintenance requires analysis of areas where trouble is likely to occur. For example, suppose we say that normally our cashier นะครับ usually type the wrong number นะครับ usually type the wrong number of items. So our company may say that okay, when the cashier has to charge or has to bill the customer นะครับ cashier has to scan every single item of the product. They cannot just like scan one item and enter the quantity manually because it might be wrong นะครับ and one good example นะครับ you can see that when you go to some supermarket, for example in Thailand นะครับ like top supermarket, some of the top supermarket they have like manual checkout booth. The things that you have to do is that you scan your product, right, by using barcode scanner similar to what the cashier did นะครับ but the difference is that if it is manual checkout นะครับ after you scan already, you have to put your product that you scan already in the area that they prepare นะครับ so what happened to that one? They found that in the past นะครับ when they just had the personal checkout นะครับ same as the cashier did, some of the customer didn't scan some product unintentionally. They put the product in their bag straight away. So in order to prevent this problem to arise นะครับ the area that they ask you to put the scan product on is that actually it is away นะครับ they just like weight your products. For example, if you would like to buy a bottle of milk 1 liter, so they key in already in their database that okay, for this bottle นะครับ what is the weight of this bottle? So let's say if it is around 1.12 kilograms. That means before you can scan the next product, the weight on the area that they prepare must be 1.1 kilograms already. Otherwise, it doesn't allow you to scan the next product, something like that. So that's why in this one, this is the preventive maintenance. Also นะครับ apart from this kind of preventive maintenance that we see in the operational system already นะครับ IT department นะครับ if it is the maintenance in the server นะครับ for the system IT maintenance, IT department normally initiate preventive maintenance, often result in the increased user satisfaction, decreased downtime, and reduced TCO, total cost of ownership. Sometimes it does not receive high priority that it deserves. So preventive maintenance in terms of the whole system, it means that okay, you may do like some backup นะครับ and maintaining process. For example, every end of month you may have to check the status of database. Is there anything wrong or not? For example, if your database is around 20 terabytes นะครับ if your hard drive นะครับ to store the database is around 20 terabytes, and the expectation we say that okay, in 1 month you should spend around like let's say 50 I'm sorry, not 50 megabytes to be increased. But at the end of 1 month, once you check on the availability of the hard drive, you found that it's 30% used up already. 30%, it means like let's say 3 terabytes is used up, 6 terabytes is used up already. We just passed the system for 1 month only, 60 terabytes, but actually our expectation is 20 megabytes only. So what is the difference? What's going on? Maybe some of the tasks or the functions may use up lots of hard disk space. Then this maintenance task, the preventive maintenance task, can see the problem immediately. Then the help desk นะครับ or the IT staff who is responsible for preventive maintenance, we have to report to development team immediately, or they have to report to the help desk, so that help desk can see all the information inside or contact the developer so that they can fix the problem of just like using up almost all of the hard disk space นะครับ in the server. So this is really important because otherwise if the hard drive is full, you cannot do anything with the system นะครับ okay next นะครับ for the maintenance team these are the people นะครับ that can do for the maintenance work as well นะครับ system admin system analysts and programmers you can see that system analysts and programmers they may be the group of people who used to work with this system before or they may be like newly assigned system analysts and programmers for this maintenance team only and sometimes we have like some organizational issues. So for the maintenance team, you have to think about the code of ethics as well, because actually the maintenance team can see all of the data inside the database. So you must not distribute this information to other peopleนะครับ For example, if you are working for the mobile phone operators, for sure you see the phone numbers that they call from one person to another person. Suppose you know that, okay, you also see the name of the owner of that mobile phone as well. Suppose you say that, okay, your girlfriend said that, hey, I just like really like this movie star. I want to get his phone number. Can you find it for me? And then you go to see in the database. Okay, you see the phone number, for example, you say that, okay, you want to find the phone number of Nadet, okay? And then you just see the phone number of Nadet in your system. You know that this is his number because he registered by using his citizen ID card. And this is the only number that he got in our system. Then if you give this number to your girlfriend, that is not the ethic. You are doing unethical thingsนะครับ, for your job. So don't do like that. Or for example, if I have like, let's say if I have my daughter, okay, if I have a daughter who is studying in MUIC, let's say, and I am the one who is developing Sky system. My daughter didn't do well in programming one subject. She got D-Doc. And I think, oh, I want my daughter to get an honor degree. I go to change her grade from D-Doc to A. This is unethical. I can't do that. Okay, so this is the maintenance team. You have to know that the code of ethics is really, really important too. After that, in terms of maintenance management, for the maintenance request, in order to do any or conduct any maintenance, we have to involve a series of steps. All work must be covered by a specific request. And you need to have initial determination that what are we going to do, what's going on with this issue, and how can we fix this problem. Sometimes we have the standard of fixing. If it is the minor problem, you may the help desk may just like do it straight away. But if it is the maintenance task that we have to just like deal with the server, you need to just like give the suggestion first that, okay, in excuse me, in this case, if we would like to have the system to be maintained, for example, in the past, we say that we never have the monthly backup of the system, but the users request that we better have the monthly backup. Then you just initiate the initial determination first. Write down a suggestion that, okay, from now on, around like after midnight of every Friday, every midnight of the last day of the month, we will run the schedule backup for our server. This one, if you are maintenance team, you cannot do it by yourself. Firstly, you need to request for the permission from the system review committee first. If they say that no, it means no, you cannot do it. But if they said yes, okay, we'll have the month-end backup, so please do it as you planned. So the one that you planned was like the midnight after the end of the month, you have to do it. So task completion, when the task is completed, you may need to have some checklist to check whether everything is okay or not. Because if there's something wrong, the thing that you may do is that you roll back everything and do it again, or you roll back and then you may just like have the schedule on the next couple of days or next week instead, something like that. Depends on what the review committee approve. And after that, you have to notify the users that, okay, you did the maintenance already. After that, you also need to do the priorities establishment as well. So in many companies, the review committee will have to separate the maintenance requests from new system development requests. So that means fixing the old problem and create the new project. They separate might separate into different team, different tasks. Some IT managers believe that evaluating all projects together leads to the best possible decisions. Object is to have a procedure that balances new development and necessary maintenance work. So after we establish the priority, which one has to be done first, when do you have to do that task, what day and what time. The next thing is the configuration management. As enterprise-wide information system grow more complex, configuration management becomes critical because it also helps to handle and to organize the documentation as well. So what does it mean by configuration management in here? Let's say if our company has like 5 databases, 3 are from different departments. One is the new operational system, and the last one is for backup. So in this case, when it is more complex, you have to know how to customize or how to configure each database properly, because normally the database for each department may have to be linked to our central database. And our central database also has to be linked to the backup database too. So that's why it needs the configuration. And sometimes if the database is from like different kind of database scheme, for example, 3 of them are relational database. One of them is the object oriented database. The other one is card based. So you can see that these 5 databases need to have like the setting that they can just like go along well together, because otherwise if you have to port the data from one database to another database, it might have some problems. After that, maintenance release. In this one, some of the organization, they use the maintenance release inside the IT department only, while some of the company they may just like announce the releases in the intranet of the company as well. So this one, the maintenance releases, is a numbering pattern that distinguish different releases to help reducing the documentation burden, to tell the users that what did you do with the maintenance of the previous round. It might come with the service packs. Also, you need to have the version control as well, that okay, what did you do for the previous version? If the users try to update or do the maintenance and it doesn't work, you may have to let them be able to roll back before they do the new maintenance in the next round. You need to have the archive. And also the maintenance release is the essential part of system documentation as well, that you need to have it, so that for people who have to deal with this system later, they'll see what have you done so far for the maintenance task. Because on day 1 that system's launch, and when it passed, let's say 6-7 months already, the system may be different in some functions, right? The next one, we talk about the baselines for the maintenance. System analysts will have to use baseline as yardsticks to document features and performance during development process. So in this one, you have to talk about like functional baseline, allocated baseline, and product baseline. How did you set up and how did you measure? And what is the result when you measure for the system that you are using right now and the system development process that you have been doing. So Apart from that one, you need to do the performance, system performance management as well นะครับ so in this one นะครับ the things that you have to do is that you have to manage the fault นะครับ that might happen in this one. For the fault management, we said that the more complex the system, the more difficult it can be analyze symptoms and isolate a cause. The best strategy นะครับ in order to manage the fault is to prevent problems by monitoring problem performance and workload that before problem arise. So that means the system admin has to check the status of the machines or of the server, the database, and the server all the time while users are using. They will randomly check it, and they may set up like some threshold. If there are some problem arise and it makes, let's say, CPU to be increased more than 50%, it will send the alarm to the system admin, and then they have to come and check what's going on, which process is using or is depleting the CPU performance at that time. After that, we also have to do benchmark testing from time to time. We have metrics นะครับ to check นะครับ as a checklist. We have the response time, and also we may have to check for the bandwidth and throughput นะครับ because when we talk about the operational system นะครับ the information system that you have been using here นะครับ is not used by just one person in the company. When you have to use by a lot of people, they need to have the checking. They need to use the network in order to connect to your system, and it may cause a problem if the bandwidth นะครับ is slow, the throughput is slow นะครับ that's why you have to always check นะครับ for the bandwidth. For example, the system may show the error that okay, they just like don't see the output on the screen. But I mean, like some other users at the same time, they may be able to see the output screen, the same output screen. So one thing you have to also check is that it might be because of the internet connection. For the users that report the problems of the output, might be because the throughput of their internet connection was very, very slow. So that's why it can show just like the frame on the screen only, but it doesn't show the value or the output. So this one you have to check for your users. After that, in terms of performance and workload measurement, you have to check the turnaround time as well. Turnaround time here means that okay, from the time that you start using the system until you get the output. I mean, for example, the easy example is like when you go to 7-Eleven, when the cashier starts scanning your products until they ask you that, okay, what kind of payment channel would you like to pay? For example, if you say that you want to pay by True Money Wallet, let's say, once they press a button, pay by True Money Wallet, how long does it take? Let's say it's 10 seconds after they click or they press on the button to pay through True Money Wallet. And when you scan the True Money Wallet barcode until they give you the receipt, how long does it take? If it said that, okay, around like 30 seconds plus the first 10 seconds. So that means this process take around 40 seconds, 45 seconds, let's say. This is turnaround time that you have to think. Because in the future, if some users have a problem and they say that, hey, what's going on to the system is very slow, you have to let them check. And also sometimes you may have to remotely check it for them. If you ask them and they can answer you, you may ask them that, okay, for how long do you have to wait? Then if they say that around 45 seconds, you know that, okay, that is the normal turnaround time. That is not strange. It's just like 5 seconds more. But if you ask them that, okay, how long does it take when the customer has to pay through True Wallet? You press a button until the receipt comes out to the users, to the customer. And if that cashier said that it's around 5 minutes, that one, it's too long for the turnaround time. Then you have to go back and check what's going on. Okay. The IT department often measures response time, bandwidth, throughput, turnaround time to evaluate system performance, both before and after changes to the system or business information requirements. For example, before you use RFID to automatically scan and compare with the cashier that they scan on the barcode manually. So if we say that, okay, if the cashier just spend around like 2 minutes to scan everything, to get the receipt to the customer, but compared to the RFID, if it takes just like 5 to 7 minutes, that is too long. Then you have to consider already that what's going on with the RFID. Theoretically, it should be a lot faster than using manually scan. Then you just check what's going on. Okay. After that, okay. After that, we said that, okay, management will use current performance and workload data as input for the capacity planning process. Because I mean, like when the system has been using for a while, the current performance and the workload data is used for planning on the next round. After that, what is capacity planning? Capacity planning here, in order to plan for the capacity, normally we plan for just like how do you gonna use the storage, how do you gonna use the memory. In this one, you have to use what if analysis. For example, we said that, okay, on a regular basis, we have like 100 concurrent users online and use our system. What if today the new product is launched, there are 500 users log in concurrently? What will happen? So in this one, we need the detailed information to justify for the what if analysis as well. And then we need an accurate forecast. So who can tell you for this kind of forecast? Actually, you have to let IT to work with the IT people to work with the users, because users may know that, okay, when it's the peak time, how many people are there, or some company or some systems, the peak time might be just like check or monitor by using the tools that you have in the servers as well. It depends. Sometimes for the expected number of customers, marketing people may be able to help you instead.